yun! At si KSA tapos, KSA gets the 4K! KNP! Yobeb with that spray down! Oh! For KSA!
Will be the peak of Crossfire Philippines battle.
Once upon a time, andyan si Pacific MATTJESS and now Pacific Esports. But eventually, the EVOS Nation attacked. Nandito na tayo ngayon sa ating ikatlong serye for today. Dito sa ating CFPH Regional Finals. Kami pa rin ang inyong kasama, Mochi and Didum nga pala. Men, this series is gonna be crazy.
Yes, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be historic for that matter, especially the stakes at which yung pinaglalaroan nila dito, no? Pacific not having the best of starts sa group stage natin, so mataas yung kailangan nilang abutin dito or habulin. But EVOS actually sitting very comfortably dun sa top 2 spot natin, no? But when you consider the history between these two, Pacific ang dating pinapadala sa ating international events at ngayon EVOS na. So it is definitely one for the books.
Yes, exactly. And we're also gonna find out what is going to be the mindset ng Pacific heading into this one, because once again, they are facing a team that possesses what they could have been, no, from the past year, especially nung nanggaling tayo sa ating regional finals. Yes, last year is natalo sila against Ubek, if I may recall correctly. And this time naman is si EVOS ang kanila makakaharap. I feel like they really would have won that playoffs more than ever, but at the same time, it's not looking entirely good for them.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of an understatement. No, Pacific, we come into this season with very high expectations for this team. A lot of people consider them top 3. Right next to Stallions and EVOS, but they've fallen a little bit hard dito sa group stage natin, no, after dropping a series to the likes of MATTJESS, and that's not something that they expect at all. And remember, last Masters, ang ganda ng poise ng Pacific, the only team that was able to beat Stallions, then Ubek in their coveted map of sub-base. Pero ngayon, when they faced against Stallions, hindi nila na-push into set number 3. In fact, hindi sila nakaabot ng 5 in terms of set score in the entire matchup. So, kailangan talaga makabawi ng Pacific.
Yes, exactly. Because if not, we are gonna be the first people to view their empire gaming or coming into crumbling, which is something that we wouldn't want at all. Pero kita naman din natin in our team stats here, Aiden has been the one or like the primary factor has been able to do the most para dito sa ating team, no? Especially with his recent integration. Nakita naman natin how he's been able to fit like a glove dito sa Pacific Esports. Although there are some moments pretty similar to the story of Execration, it's unfortunate that they've been able to be a bit more explosive in their matches, or if meron silang makukuha mga advantages or they will get an edge in a specific team, is hindi rin nila natatapos kaagad-agad.
Ayun na nga, ano, taking a look at their data over the course of the group stage, they did beat NV Gaming, albeit 2-1, no? I mean, in terms of the group standings, you want as much as possible to win by 2-0. So, ayun, medyo napalalim ang panimula ng standings dito ng Pacific Esports in terms of the group stage, which is a bit of a surprise for a lot of people, myself included, considering how well Aiden fit into the roster. I mean, madaming enthusiastic nung nadagdag si Aiden sa roster ng Pacific, saying na this is the missing piece, the one thing they need to go back into the international stage. But the start of regional finals hasn't been the best for them. But the good thing about the group stage is hindi pa ito tapos. Kakalagpas lang sa halfway point ng group stage para dito sa Pacific, and they definitely have a chance to make a comeback. Problema lang, EVOS yung mga katapat nila dito, Moji.
Yeah, there's gonna be quite a tough one, especially, and I believe we can hear from them personally just in a bit, no, in order to have a glimpse or an insider how they're doing, what's the preparations, anong gagawin, lalong-lalo na ganito ang kalibre ng kanilang katapat ngayon dito sa ating araw. Pero ito na nga, no, here is going to be our representative dito sa ating interview for our pre-match.
Uy!
NBA, kamusta naman tayo ngayon?
Ito medyo masama pakiramdam. May trangkaso.
Ay, get well.
Ay.
Get well.
Thank you.
Ay, so, I wish you sana gumaling kayo no Boss MBA. Pero ito isa lang yung question ko, simple lang for you and Pacific. And obviously medyo mahirap yung panimula natin sa group stage, no, especially in the standings. But now we have a chance to come back against EVOS para makaakyat sa ating group standings. Ang tanong ko lang, anong binago, anong babaguhin ng Pacific sa paglaban natin today and in the coming matches?
Konti lang naman binago namin. Tsaka kung ano lang ginagawa namin sa practice, yun pa rin naman gagawin namin. Ayan.
Okay.
Alright. Ito, Boss MBA, I'm giving you the floor kung may gusto tayo i-shoutout, gustong batiin, now's your chance.
Shoutout sa ma'am namin, tsaka sa coach, tsaka sa mga sumusuporta sa amin. Shoutout sa inyo. Yun lang.
Alright. Thank you so much, Boss MVA. Good luck. At sana gumaling na kayo. Good luck sa match nyo against EVOS.
Ayan, no, it seems like we're facing some factors outside of the arena, which is gonna be quite of a challenge and a struggle para sa kanila. But I really do hope that they can make a move out of this one, kasi mali mo naman maging same para sa apekto. Kasi biro mo si Kano, di ba, nag-pop up before, nailagnat, okay lang din naman. Hopefully it would cause the same thing dito kay FPA, and just being a bit more optimistic on this one, especially that they really need this series.
Absolutely, no. If they want a shot of going back into the international stage this year, they have to win. They have to win all the 3 series, all 3 matchups na meron sila, no, coming from today up to the last 4 days, last 3 days na nga lang of the group stage, no. Sunod nila mga kalaban, still heavy hitters, Vanguard, Gaon, at saka, Vanguard tsaka Gaon yung sunod nila mga kalaban, no. So, they have to win all of those matches for a chance to even make it to the top 4. But I believe that Pacific, they definitely have the talent to get there, no? It's just a matter of getting a hold of the current state of the meta and the current teams na meron dito sa regional finals. Pero sino nga ba ang mga kalaban nila dito, Mochi? It's none other than EVOS, the defending champs from Masters.
Nako, ayan na nga, the gods of wrath, ika nga, no. Sometimes it's not always the being top 1 dito sa ating group stage, but what matters the most to them is once that they are already in the playoffs. Pag nandyan na sila sa playoffs, nako po, parang rest assured na merong gulong mangyayari dito at mayayanig yung mga kasabay nilang tatlong teams dito. And since they were already claiming that, pero not gonna lie, in accordance to history, it is bound to repeat itself. Pero ito ang ating team stats, no, wherein all of our players here almost is over 1 ang KD, which just means that every single one is individually sufficient in their own right.
And still very impressive numbers, no, despite starting off the season with a loss from their first matchup, no. Ang ganda pa rin ng mga numero dito ng mga players. Of course, you have to address Zetra on the sniping department, definitely setting a standard for the rest of the snipers dito of the regional finals. And then you have the Dark Prince himself, Yobib, who has always been the one to look out for in all the rosters he's been part of. And in EVOS, definitely fitting like a glove dito and still performing at top level. 1.27 KD para kay Yobib and a 0.8 kill per round. Walang kupas dito. And taking a look at their stats, yun na nga, no, only dropping a series to Team Stallions, but ever since they've been on the up, parang pataas lang ng pataas ang antas dito ng EVOS Arcilia.
Yun na daw yung moment nila in order to assert the dominance here, and it feels like you love it or hate it, talagang andito sila and they're proving that they are bound to continue this win streak so far. But let us see nga, no, if mga-counter nga ba nila to na maganda. Kasi piro mo, just by basing here dito sa ating mga matches so far, if there are some moments here na hindi makapag-online si Yobib or anyone from them, it is always someone else being able to cover up for each other, which is crazy because they always thrive in chaos, pretty similar to what happened to MATTJESS kanina, but they also thrive in as well as the motivation na talagang papakita nila na kami talaga ang mas angat dito sa entablado.
Yes, and yun yung nakakatakot dito sa EVOS no. They're a 5-prong strong team. Kapag may isang medyo hindi maliwanag, nagsi-step up yung apat no. That's what makes this team very very scary. Couple that with the guidance of Coach 02 no. Talagang may structure yung approach nila sa mga mapa.
Yeah, I feel like it's undeniable that they are definitely one of the strongest contenders here, and seems like we're gonna be seeing more of that, especially once na mag-head na rin tayo sa ating map dito. Pero ito na nga, no, I feel like we're gonna be hearing from the men themselves for EVOS. It is all done, Coach 02. Kamusta naman po kayo?
Okay, teka lang, may correction ako agad sa'yo, Mochi. Hindi po kami contender, we are the champions. Hindi kami contender, we're the champions. Yeah, correction. 2 points ka na sa akin, Mochi, ha? We're the reigning champions, so we're not gonna contend. But correction lang, guys. Diba? Reigning champions.
Totoo naman. Totoo naman. Coach, first off, congrats sa mga recent wins nyo sa group stage. No? 3 consecutive wins tayo dito sa group stage. Ang tanong ko lang, itutuloy ba natin ang win streak today?
Yes, alam ko magiging mahirap dahil, well, MATTJESS, legendary team, to tell you the truth. Pero, of course, hindi namin bibigay basta-basta to. Again, sila yung unang naging harang sa pagiging kampyonato namin. Siyempre, ngayon, may pagkataon kaming harangin sila para makapasok ng playoff, and we are going to make them lead to get that. Kasi pinadugo nila kami ng 2 seasons Naalala nyo? Pinadugo nila kami ng 2 seasons. So, again, we will return the favor. Kung hindi sila, they're not ready for war, they're gonna lose. So they better be ready kasi ibabalik namin yung favor na binigay namin nila sa amin 2 seasons ago. So again, we are ready for war against MATTJESS.
Grabe talaga,
Quite
Coach.
of a
Walang
strong preparation. Yeah. And it feels like it's gonna be a challenge din kay Pacific, no? Lalong-lalo na parang tulad na nakita naman natin kanina, may sakit nga daw si kanina.
May sakit? Get well soon.
May sakit daw po siya.
Get well soon, NBA. Nahawa yata kay Aldrin. Di ba may sakit si Aldrin nung last time?
Ay, yun nga po.
Kay Aldrin yata nahawa Get well soon na NBA. Pag sa labas ng laro, get well soon. Yan pati kami. Pero sa laro, war tayo.
I mean, of course, always the nice mindset dito, no, Coach. May tanong ka ba kay Coach dito, Mochi?
Oo, Mochi ka. Mochi, ha?
Ayun
1 week pa, 1 week.
1 week?
Grabe naman, Coach! Ay, ako, recognize ko naman lagi ang lakas niyo. Ay, pero ano po nga mensahe po natin? Last question po for before na makapag-focus po kayo sa inyong laban.
Ano po yung question nyo?
Message.
Message! Okay, message is again, yung mga walang pamato dyan na mga bayan-bayan. So, ano ulit yun? Ilocano, Bicolano, saka Ilonggo. Dito kayo sa EVOS. Diba? Tayo magkakampi ngayon. Okay, so shout out sa mga fans namin. And of course, sa kabila. Ito yung pinaka-message natin ngayon. Yung mga kalaban namin, kung sino ka man, mga kalaban namin semis. Maganda kayo dahil you are going to lose.
Alright. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Coach ko. Good luck sa laban nyo against Pacific.
Ayan. Hindi lang hari ng Tondo ng Crossfire, no? Hari dito sa Pilipinas when it comes to the Crossfire scene and possibly making the standard higher para dito sa ating competition. Pero let's check out sino naman ang ating mga key players here in our matchup. Man, I'm quite excited for this one. It is gonna be Eden versus Cetra.
And kita mo naman dito yung numbers ni Zetra, no? In all but 2 of the stats, siya yung nangunguna. Sa buong group stage, pinakamataas na KD, pinakamataas na kills per round, at pinakamataas na smokes per round. As the sniper player, this is absolutely impressive from the EVOS Arcelia player, no? Just such a consistent performer in any and all scenarios. And especially when you give him that TRG, man. Nakakatakot kalaban to si Cetra. But Aiden, of course, fitting the bill very well para sa Pacific. I mean, nakakagulat nga, no, Aiden, when it comes to pressure moments, siya yung nagpo-perform for Pacific.
Exactly. And man, hindi maalis sa utak ko yung laban ni Cetra dito before, no, wherein everything seems dire already. Tapos siya yung nag-step up, siya yung nakakuha ng almost 30 kills ata yun. You see the TRG, I believe the map during that time is Ankara. He's been taking angles that are definitely hindi na-expect dito ng kanilang mga opposition at that time, to the point na wala nang naging balik dito sa kanila noon. And I guess we are gonna be seeing more of these players later on, lalong-lalo na that when it comes to our map veto, I'm pretty sure that they'll be choosing where the most applicable maps that would serve as a playground for these key players will be shown later on. Pero ito na nga, no, maghanap na tayo at magtawag ng ating mga kampi. It is going to be Salvatore and Sneaky Frog pa din on your caster desk. We are gonna be asking about their thoughts in this matchup. Sneak.
Yun nga, no? Generational, historical, ang daming adjectives na pwedeng i-describe yung series na to. But I'm looking forward to, you know, a rivalry anood, no, pare. You know, one less person from yung past few years. Actually, two less people for the past few years. But I feel like there's still that animosity between yung dalawang teams natin dito, which I'm really looking forward to seeing.
Well, ako naman dito, no, parang it just feels like a trip down back to memory lane, no? Way back in the days of SGJ versus Pacific, no, na kahit papano, nabigyang hustisya na nga na SGJ yung pag-iensayo nga nila and ultimately taking down Pacific. Pero as the years go by, parang SGJ na ang nananaig ngayon, and it's no other time kundi ngayong araw na to na ibalik ng Pacific ang kanilang imperyo.
Yes, exactly. And I feel like just in a bit, makikita rin natin ang ating mga mapa na paglalaroan ng dalawang kampo natin for our last series for the night. Yun nga, we're already having our expectations here. Wala na si Compound, wala na si Mexico, Matic. And we are gonna having Eagle Eye.
Wait,
First,
hold on.
Ankara, second.
Oh my God.
And I feel like decider natin ang port. Dito.
Yeah, syempre, kinig naman natin sa reactions dito ni Salpi at Sneaky. Why is Port the last map? And that's, I think, a big tell of what both teams are going to show dito. Eagle Eye ang pinili dito ng Pacific Macta, no, which is quite surprising. I'm checking the stats dito. No, I don't think they've ever first picked an Eagle Eye map. Yeah, you know, no, never first pick an Eagle Eye map dito, which is why it's a little bit surprising. We haven't seen them prioritize this map before. At yun na nga, magsisimula pa sila on the GR side, which could really throw a curveball to EVOS's playstyle. But I think EVOS has got Eagle Eye figured out as well. So I don't know ano yung papakitang bago sa atin dito ni Pacific Esports, because when we go into Ankara, it's not hard to come back if you haven't secured the Eagle Eye. So yes, I'm a little bit unsure about Eagle Eye as a first map for Pacific.
Yes, Sneak.
Yeah, I see your point naman dito, Dadum, na medyo unsure din ako sa Eagle Eye. Yeah, just like you said, it was the first time that it has been priority picked dito ng Pacific, and usually it is just an answer to whatever has been thrown by yung team that is picking first. Pero meron yata silang game plan going into Eagle Eye 2.0. Maybe they're gonna try to counter them early dito sa ating GR side. Ankara is gonna be very interesting considering this was one of the best maps ng Pacific Esports, but at the same time, EVOS time and time again has played this map, and yun nga, no, the amount of comebacks, yung kanilang solid defense, plus their very, very nice executes. It's a tough job to get this over to 3, pare, not gonna lie.
Salvatore.
Well, a lot of things to be sure, no, is hindi mo dapat tina-challenge ang EVOS sa Eagle Eye, no? Pero Pacific is gladly to take that as some sort of motivation para talaga pagbutihin tong serye to, no? A lot of teams tried, Execration, Gaon Gaming, Vanguard, all of which failed. Pero kung ikaw naman ng Pacific, malaki ang kargado nga nila heading into that first map, and that's one map na feeling ko malaki yung pagkukuha na ng momentum.
At hindi na natin papatagalin to. Ito na, predictions na natin. All hands on deck here. I will go for, unfortunately, sorry na agad sa Pacific. It's 2-0, EVOS. How about you, Didum?
Yeah, I think as it stands, I'm gonna have to agree with you, Mochi. I mean, taking a look at the statistics, taking a look at the map veto we have, and the recent performances dito, I feel like EVOS just is still the best team when it comes to PH rosters. So, there you have it. 2-0, EVOS ang aking prediction.
I think I can kind of agree with that. I feel like, yun nga, no, granted, sobrang galing na team talaga ng Pacific. No? They're still probably able to make playoffs in their top 4 form. Pero up against EVOS, it's gonna be very tough, pare. I would also go...
Yeah.
Actually, no. Feeling ko EVOS 2-1 to me.
My heart speaks no Pacific kasi like I've been friends with Pacific for quite the longest time, but in terms of competition, they know their bounds and limits. I'm putting my vote here on EVOS 2-1.
And there we go here. Predictions already right in front of our eyes. It is quite of a heartache, no? Na Pacific has already been there. Pero yun nga, tulad ng sabi ni Coach 02, he's gonna be bringing back the favor here of crushing them twice. And he's bound to do the same. And I feel like just a little bit magpe-prepare na ang anting entablado. This set was gonna come right in front of our doorsteps. Nikki Frog and Salvatore, kayo na to.
El Clasico renewed. Mas malala pa sa Ginebra versus San Miguel. Mas malala pa sa Pacquiao versus Barrera. Ito nga pala ang Pacific versus EVOS. Welcome everybody to our main event para sa ating huling laban ngayong araw ng Sabado. Ang dalawang teams na naghubog sa itsura ng ating tournament ngayon, no? At wala nang iba kundi ang dekadang team kundi ang Pacific at ang paangat na papunta sa langit dahil sa kanilang kalakasan, that is EVOS.
Yeah, and this is very symbolic as well, man. We were in attendance for all 3 finals ever since 2022. So, ayun nga, it's nice na you somehow magically popped out today, pare. Paano kaya yung rason? Pero yun nga, no, I feel like this is gonna be, you know, a series that we're either gonna remember for the longest time or it is gonna be one of the most depressing series that we are gonna watch. Hopefully, it is the first one, pare. Kasi, ayun nga, Pacific, obviously, they have had their shining moments dito sa tournament na to, but unfortunately, I feel like yung strength of the other lower table teams natin has now started to kind of climb up slowly and slowly at basta nakakahabol na sila, or at least yung mga peaks ng mga lower table teams natin, nakakahabol na sila dito sa Pacific. You know, case in point, yung nangyari dun sa MATTJESS. So, ayun nga, it's a question of what level is Pacific gonna play at today? Kasi obviously EVOS, you know, granted, you know, there is that looming thing around them that says na, hey, yun nga, granted your EVOS, but there's still, you know, the possibility of, you know, maybe an upset anytime soon. Pero para sa EVOS, I feel like rarely lang sila ma-upset dito sa mga tournaments natin. Granted, you know, maybe a team or two would get a map, pero I cannot recall a series in a group stage na upset na dito yung EVOS. So, you know, Pacific could be the first, but it's gonna be a tough one, pare.
Yeah, parang regionally speaking, no, EVOS has been the most consistent pagdating sa ating mga long series, long gameplays. And ramdam ng EVOS, no, yung kanilang kalidad ng yung kanilang kalidad ngayon is talagang mas angat pa kumpara doon sa mga ibang teams, no. Teams like Stallions can be exposed, Execration, Vanguard, and even Pacific, no. Pero EVOS parang bilang pa rin sa daliri natin kung kailan nga ba huling beses silang natalo talaga ng husto, no. Kung may matatalo man sa EVOS, no, and that's going to be Stallions during last best of 3 during PH Masters, no. Pero ito pre, sa nakikita pa lang natin ngayon, Stallions pa lang talaga ang nakakuha ng numero dito ng EVOS, and I think that's going to be the narrative for quite a long time as EVOS and Stallions continues to innovate and evolve. Yung mga ibang teams nangangarap na sana nandyan na kami sa pwesto ngayon ng EVOS, and Pacific has been that legacy of a team na matagal na actually, no, like aminin nyo man sa hindi, maraming teams talaga ang kumukuha ng pahina dito sa kung paano maglaro ang Pacific. And EVOS, they branded their own style of crossfire. At yun na nga yung huling pyesa ng puzzles ni Prof kung bakit nga na 3-1 ng SGJ ang Pacific Macta last year during regional finals. And that was the start of something fresh para dito sa EVOS, no. And time again, ang bukang bibig pa rin talaga natin is EVOS, they're back-to-back champions, being the representatives, palaging lumilipad papuntang ibang bansa to compete. Napag-iwan na ng panahon ng Pacific at wala nang ibang magandang araw at poetic na panahon para simulan ulit ang pagwagayway ng Pacific, kundi ngayon kung matatalo nga nila ang EVOS Arcilia. Heading into Eagle Eye, map number 1, ladies and gentlemen, El Clasico! Sinimulan kagad ni Zetra!
My God, Revenge already out of the picture. Zetra, of course, the guy who's been the best player para dito sa EVOS, bar none, pare, has been absolute impact para sa kanyang team. Pero MVA around the corner, hiding behind the hotel site. Pero yun lang, MVA Nakakuha na ng dalawa gamit ang kanyang HK, pero yun lang, nalikuran na siya dito ni Yobib. With the help of Zetra as well. MVA out of the picture. Medyo messy yung start ng round dito sa hotel, no, Salvatore? Not gonna lie. Ayun lang.
Still fighting. Justin! Ang tagal ng laban na yun. Buti na nga lang sinalba siya dito ni Aiden. Kapalit naman dito yung katabi niya nga kanina na nawalay na nga. As Zetra gets the final touches dito sa ating round number 1. At grabe yung paboga doon ni Boss Zetra. 3 kills over at LB. Nung saan wala nga man lang sumabay sa kanya. It's all just Zetra.
Yeah, nothing new, no? Nothing new actually dun sa default na ginawa ng EVOS. It's still the same old, same old. Be execute na nakikita natin with that, signature late push na ginagawa ni Elvin in order to get that second mid, that second mid pressure that EVOS kind of needed, especially in that B take para, para ma-dissuade man lang yung mga ibang mga mata from those stairs position. Pero, yun nga, same old, para dito sa EVOS, no, holding at the start of the round. PE, obviously, not that desperate para kumuha ng opening pick dito. So, both of them just waiting for any mistakes. Pero, yun nga, no, judging from yung positioning ng EVO, seems like they're planning on taking itong B site with another B split, pare.
Yeah, it's just a mind of its own para dito sa EVOS, no? Kasi now, lurking around hotel, nakita nga si MVA repositions back to bar. Aldrin na nga ngayon ang pwedeng bumelo dito lang sa may EB kasi siya nga yung posible maging first contact dito. MVA just needs to get the timing right. At pumunta sila under. Bumaba sila ng BR praise. So ibig sabihin, babalik pa din kay Aldrin yung first contact dito. And there goes the flash. Napakaganda para sa EVOS. At si Aldrin umaatras. Kellar wins the duel over to MVA. Elvin also gets the kill. EVOS flawless so far. Apat na kagad ang napilas dito, Sneaky. And just like that, EVOS doing what's best. Individual game style, Sneaky. And EVOS just proved to be the better man dun sa kanilang execute.
And yeah, no, there's a B execute going on at the same time. Elvin, instead of mid doors, sa A site na nga siya naghanap ng pick dito, and that he did. And grabe, EVOS is all over the map, pare. PE, just their defenses are wearing thin because of the presence na ginagawa ng EVOS. And this is yung strength ng kanilang BL side. No? They can kind of really fight individually, which makes yung map control nila a whole lot bigger than expected. And ito namang Pacific Esports, they're gonna be forced to react kasi they cannot just simply give this much map control for free. Pero Zetra, crouch peek onto Justin. Aiden looking for the trade. It's a good, well-oiled machine here, Salvatore. Pero si Revenge, kuha niya na si Elvin. But Elvin, that's a reasonable casualty, pare.
Good. Like, ginamit niya nga talaga strategically yung House A, pati na nga rin yung stairs dun no? But that's about it. Bigla na lang tumahimik dito yung LA ng Pacific and same goes for EVOS. Wala nga silang inaamba dito. Zetra still holding down bypass. Yeah, less movements heading into the mid-round, Sneaky, no? So, puro amba ang binabato ngayon ng Pacific if ever man na gawin nga nilang lurk to. There is still a chance. Aldrin and MVA not rotating. MVA papunta na nga ng BR dito. Pero na pre-aim kagad yun ni Zetra. Every angle, basang-basa, bukang libro ang Pacific para sa EVOS. Revenge. Nakabuelo pa rin dito lang sa may RS. And now Kellar just runs down over his co-captain dito sa laban na to. Oh my goodness, EVOS, what a 3-round stretch para sa kanila, pre.
Grabe. I mean, Zetra, this kid can do every variation ng sniper, no, Salvatore? Lurk, entry, having to go superstar mode pare in the clutch. This kid can do anything, man, on the TRG and or the AWM, pare. And grabe, EVOS. Really what a start to the Eagle Eye game. PE, wake-up call para sa kanila dito. They need to get points. Pero si Kel R, nakisnipe na rin. Revenge. 4th time down in this game, trying to look for an opener, pare, and EVOS can take full advantage.
And the advantage already presented itself, no? Na para bang EVOS can just run over any angle and they could just get that kill miraculously, not even blowing down any flash or smoke. Kita mo nga kanina, no, like how much time did it take for Pacific to rotate? Sapat na yun. Pero yung late rotation naman ni Zetra, mas maganda pa nga talaga. Aldrin now on double sniper duty. At nagpakita ng bungo si KSA na Aldrin collects it. Kellar and Yobib hindi pa rin natitinag. Gusto pa rin kumuha ng B-execute dito. And now the dust settles. Pacific now on the move.
Grabe. Aldrin with 4 less layers than last week, pare. Might be able to kind of perform slightly better para dito sa PE, and they need him desperately, no? I mean, Aldrin, it's gonna be him up against itong KSA potentially in the head-to-head matchup, so that step up is well needed for the vet dito ng PE. But look at this A site, Salvatore. A setup, potentially. KLR with the sniper tower presence can be very important, pare. Kung makaabot nga siya doon. Aiden, could be a problem, pare. And yan na nga sinasabi ko, Aiden peeking around the corner. Yobib is gonna go down. KLR, though, can deny the B-side players. Aiden scared to exit itong bahay. Pero instead, isa pang sniper ang makaharap niya dito. Zetra will get him. Elvin will get Justin. It's a slow roll towards the A site. Aldrin, nakakuha pa ng isa gamit ng kanyang sniper.
Si KLR.
Wait, Keller. Ooh, just dodges the nade. Barely Salvatore, pero 39 seconds finally on the clock. Aldrin on a sniper, an unfamiliar weapon. 4-0 EVOS. Hell of a start dito sa Eagle Eye. PE stunted dito, pare.
Pre, wala ka pang nakikitang bahid ng kamalian ng EVOS, pre. Matitira 2, 3, but it's enough for them to get a sight. Like, you could never pinpoint anyone sa EVOS na gumagawa ng mali talaga dito. Elvin gets caught. Si Cetra nandito na nga sa tower. And MVA scouts it down. Keller gets the trade. Mukhang naghahanap pa rin ng bawi ngayon ng EVOS as dalawa kagad yung napis nila dito. KSA now gets the caught off guard revenge. Rekta kagad dito lang sa may stairs. Nice blind here for Pacific para makapag-delay pa nga. No lurk whatsoever. So this is now full commit para sa EVOS and full on defense para sa Pacific.
And yeah, no, seems like PE has turned into good offense dito sa ating depensa, pare. And, you know, 3 versus 3, not too bad. Aiden can easily guard itong A site with the HK417. Problema nga lang, look at the patience galing dito sa EVOS, no? Yung PE players natin are a bit antsy para makahanap ng information. Just a slight bit of a pixel, pare. Even just a name of a player just to confirm where this push is going. And yun yata yung pakay nila dito, second mid in order to get some hotel control. Pero KSA naamoy na meron nagpupush dito sa kanyang likod. Justin finally a kill on the board. 1 for 1 so far in the 2v2. EVOS mid-rounding, usually very good. Pero mahanap pa nila yung picks in time. Aiden already na dito sa LA. KLR, nice shot with the TRG. Headshot on the sniper. Justin na lang natitira dito, pare.
That double sniper for EVOS, knowing na attacking pa nga sila, is already paying dividends. Now Keller as the first layer of defense dito. Justin now looming in LA. Hindi makaangat ng bunker si Justin at si Keller. Nagpadala ng barikada dito lang sa may bunker. Walang makakalampas sa Pacific. Pakong-pako sa 0 ngayon ang dynasty ng Pacific Esports, Nicky Frog. EVOS yet to score a mistake.
Yeah, 5-0. Perfect game so far, and it's gonna get more perfect. Zetra, nakita na nga dito si Aldrin. Hotel control, potentially MVA, known entity around the corner. Pwede sila mag-flash galing dito sa bypass in order to guarantee a clear. Pero MVA also knowing where this push could come from, where that flash can come from. Kailangan niya na mag-forward dito para makahanap man lang ng opportunity para sa sarili niya. Pero NBA mapapababa dito sa BR. Yobib will go down. That's the C4. That's the NBA they need. Pero hindi na alam na meron pang pangatlong player dito. And that's gonna be KSA. Turn around. Matt Zera down. Unfortunate. Justin nandito pa nga sa hotel. Grabe, man. It's once the fight start, they really don't stop para dito sa dalawang teams natin. And it seems like it's a temporary pause. Pero A-site na naman.
Pero pre, every time Pacific finds that pick, parang nababawi pa rin ng EVOS eh. Yun na lang din talaga yung nagiging issue ng Pacific dito kung ba't di sila nagkakatapult into a round. And look at that! Na walang bisa kagad yung depensa ni Aiden. Kung kakayanin niya pa nga ba dito si Elvin. And now Justin now for the follow-up at the corner na nga si Elvin. Round number 6 was the miracle para dito sa Pacific Esports. EVOS gets picked left and right, all thanks to Aiden.
Yeah, sigh of relief para dito sa Pacific. No, finally getting around on the board off of the backs of Aiden at kay MVA, really making their own risky plays on A and that B site. So EVOS, obvious reaction galing sa kanila dito. Sit and wait around, and Justin a bit too aggressive dito sa mid doors. Baited by the shots ni Elvin dito. And ngayon, mapapa 4v5 na naman yung PE. Problema nga lang, you know, they're gonna have to commit someone dito sa mid doors natin, and that's gonna be one less player on A or B.
Look at the slow pace now for EVOS. After that one pick, Atras ka agad sila. Reminiscent of how Alcancia plays Eagle Eye pre. Yun din yung ginagawa nila pag port pre. So EVOS is kinda inspired from the number 1 team out of Brazil. Pero ito pa rin talaga ang issue dito, Sneaky. If EVOS could just be more proactive sa kanilang mga post plan, I don't know pre kung sinong pwede magpatumba sa kanila. Pero in this specific fight against Pacific, kahit hindi nga nila i-force yung pagtanim na C4 pre, kung usapan ay duel lang at pag-reposition sa mapa, you already have EVOS as the champions of that narrative. Revenge and MVA. Iniispatan pa rin ngayon ng LA Aiden. Nasa may lane lang, nakakalampas si Yobib pre. Nasaan ang security measures? Pinadala na nga ngayon ng Pacific as MVA gets a double. Aiden now with a follow-up as well. 2v3, Aldrin. Hinahanapan ng butas dito yung exit at nakuha niya nga rin dito si Elvin. Cetra now on the 1v3. Look at the hard angle na kinukuha dito ni Revenge, and that spot was so good. Pacific utilizing the strong side at nahanap nga nila yung isa pang round.
Yun yan, despite the amount of space na nakuha ng EVOS dito sa A site, no, hindi nga nila matulak dito yung LA. They couldn't get the top A player in time, neither the room A player as well. So unfortunate pace change para nga dito sa ating EVOS. Are gonna have to go a lot slower if they do want to penetrate this kind of defense, pare. Pero PE now more reliant dito sa kanilang mga players on in terms of the trade. So it's not as disconnected as before na nakita natin.
Kind of feel like EVOS just didn't have any firepower na pwedeng ibato nga dun sa entry nga ni Yobib. Like, oo, may smoke nga no, pero nakakalampas pa rin si Aldrin. And not to mention, yung mga backup players na meron dun si Yobib got picked off. So, hirap na rin dun si Golden Boy kung kaya niya nga ba i-clear yung lane, pati nga rin yung room no? So, that defense from Aiden and MVA, absolutely flawless. Walang bayad ng mali dun. And now, a major adjustment now. Heading into Pacific's direction. Masyadong tahimik yung A site. So, this has to be read off by Pacific, no? Walang ingay sa A, so it has to be a B execute.
EVOS inching ever so closer dito sa B site natin. Aldrin nakaakyat na ng 2F position. Pero Yobib around the corner. Spotting tong si Aldrin. Good parkour from him. Pero MBA around the corner. HK could be very effective. KSA first one down. Yobib still trying to get into his position. Pero naandito na si Justin para tumulong. KLR trying to finish off NBA. And that he does.
My God.
2 versus 3. Revenge. Aiden spotted mid at RS para dito sa PE. Pero hindi pa tapos ang labanan dito. KLR coming out in the open. Aiden will get him eventually. Pero nasa na mga ibang miyembro ng EVOS dito, Salvatore. Seems like they're too far away.
Elvin, he just needs to get the timing right. Papasok na siya ng exit. But Revenge on the second. Re-engage. Grabe, pre. Nakatingin lang siya sa BR kanina. Tapos bigla na siya napalingon ng exit. Narinig ata. Doon si Elvin. Or it was a good read from El Capitan. Nagkasali si Revenge. Look at that movement here from Revenge. And now suddenly a 2-round deficit na lang para sa Pacific. But EVOS made it sure na hindi magiging madali sa Pacific na makuha nila yung round na yun.
Yes, first half efforts para dito sa EVOS to build that big lead. Unfortunately, not gonna be as big as they think. Could be 5-4 potentially with this amount of momentum na nasa side ng PE. And it seems like this 3-man stack on the A side has been working out in their favor. And the fact na pinapabayaan lang nila yung hotel dito for EVOS to set up, for EVOS to actually run into them, speaks about yung confidence ng kanilang mga anchors dito. Aldrin, AK-47 in hand. With one spray, this entire offense could be over, pare. Pero NBA, kailangan rin maging careful dito. Justin almost spotted. NBA trying to chase down Zetra, but Zetra still gets him. Yobib, wallbang. Aldrin now down. Justin nasa loob ng site na naka-EBR. Pero hindi mangyayari para dito sa PE. EVOS completely sweep it with the name of one man. The Dark Prince has come in the B site. Aiden na lang natitira. Yobib will go down. Pero man, EVOS, one fell swoop, men. Pagkapikit mo, men, nasa kanila na yung B-site.
At hindi pa natinag si Yobib doon, pre. Full magging the 3 members of Pacific. Aiden, not the spot na ina-anticipate na dito na nandoon si Cetra. But take a look at that hold from EVOS. It's not just one member that's putting the work. It's not just to pre. Lima silang gumagana ang utak dito, Sneaky. And that's one scary EVOS Arcilia. That first half was so strong para sa kanila. Pero kailangan na kanila magbagong kanyo pre. Depensa naman ang kanilang usap-usapan dito. No, Aiden catches KSA off guard na nakatingin lang sa may lane. Kellar. Muntik na kung sakaling tumama yun pre. Mapapa F11 ka nga naman talaga. Aiden now. Nahanap na nga dito yung angulo dito ni KLR. And it's now 2 EVOS Arcilia members down. 5v3. Tough call para sa EVOS pero kailangan ng depensahan to because Pacific's now looking towards that 40-second execute.
Yeah. 2 headshots para dito kay Das pare. Pero problema nga lang, buhay na buhay pa dito si Zetra. 11-4 in this game. And this kid has been hitting unreal shots in this game. Not that one though. Could have been a really nice pick to reduce yung numbers dito ng Pacific down to 4. Pero meron nga, papunta nga dito sa A-site. Yobib on that top A position. Zetra, quick scope. Gonna hit itong si MBA. Pero Yobib mahuhulog agad. Aiden spotting Zetra through the smoke. Elvin, last one left alive. The lurk. I think everybody knows where he's gonna come from dito pare. Yeah, that's the fourth I think.
And Elvin just gets cornered doon lang sa may one box pre. Pacific just scathing by every round. You can definitely feel no na parang kailangan nga nilang magdoble ingat sa mga likuran nga nila pre. Just so EVOS couldn't get the lurk. Kahit na nga ba late sa entry si Elvin, I think that was already a good call for EVOS, no? Now, look at the adjustment. Hindi na si Kellar at si Zetra. It's just Elvin that's holding it down. Dito lang sa may top A. Revenge, gusto nga i-challenge tong si Yobi but sa KSA, yeah, it's a weird angle para dito sa EVOS, no? But it has to work. They just have to rely on their duels alone, press, etc. Meron ba na open spot, no? Just one swing, pwede itong ma-pre-aim to ni Aiden, lalo't kung dalawa ang papasok dito. Diyan din naman si Elvin. But here comes the adjustment para sa EVOS.
EVOS still steady dito sa kanilang depensa pare. PE starting to explore yung mapa natin. Still, LA could be taken. Not much fight, no? Galing dito sa EVOS. It is mostly itong si Elvin who's gonna try to live as long as possible dito sa A-site and be as annoying as possible para makarotate yung EVOS in time. But the hesitation galing dito sa PE could be a sign for EVOS to start stacking itong site. Elvin gonna be a bit of a sacrifice here for information. Elvin getting across. Members full on the side. Zetra missing actually, pero nandito naman si KSA for that quick trade. Elvin still being very annoying. That M4 shredding through Aiden and Aldrin and MVA. Yobib na lang ang papatay dito kay Revenge. 7-4 EVOS looking like full control para sa kanila dito pare. Their GR side is now starting to work. PE has yet to crack yung kanilang defense pare.
Pre, paano mo nga naman talaga gigabain yung pundasyon ng A-site na to? Kasi kung hindi si KSA, kung hindi si Yobib, kung hindi si Zetra, pre, you can definitely feel every player of EVOS is just a one-man wrecking group, pre. Na kahit sinong ipadala mo sa A-side, pre, it's just that guy na kayang ang depensahan yung sarili niya. 1-for-1, both snipers taking down their opponents. Aiden and Yobib, both fraggers down para sa EVOS at Pacific respectively. Pero ang mas malaking epekto dito actually is yung pagkawala ni Yobib. That's one belt of util down. Purong smoke at purong flashes na lang ang meron dito sila KSA at si Elvin. But then again, inuunti-unti lang to ng Pacific. Hindi sila makapag-play around ng play for picks. Pre, etc. missing. Rare occasion. Pero pinapakita lang ni Zetra na tao lang din siya. That's an opening para sa Pacific.
Uy. I mean, a lot of missed sniper shots. KSA crossing for the second time. Still will come out alive. Zetra is very scary man, no, rarely misses. And does miss again. What's happening with yung mga TRGs natin dito, Salvatore? Everybody's missing at the same time. Keller finally a shot hitting for that M4. Pero Zetra on the fourth attempt will finally get itong si Aldrin. MVA will get a quick trade. Pero tignan mo naman si Elvin, men. Tamang steady lang dito sa A-site. Pacific looking for answers where there is full of questions dito sa Eagle Eye. At walang maisagot dun pare, NBA. It's gonna have to be him, man. Kailangan mag-activate ni Matt dito.
Matt Zera, NBA, iisang tao lang. Pero isa lang din ang hangarin niya makuha tong tatlong bangkay. Pero isa-isa sila nakapila dito. Na-anticipate nga ba ni MV? He gets Elvin! And there goes the 2. Isa na lang ang natitira. 15 segundo na lang. Kel Arnau nagparinig. And Kel Arnau playing around the smoke. 20 HP. Sa gabungo. And there goes MVA. 1v3. Umaangat pa rin ang Pacific sa okasyon, Sneaky Frog. MVA scores the clutch.
Grabe, it's been a while since I've seen an MVA step up, pare. And it is very timely para dito sa Pacific. Being stuck in 8 would have been a very bad situation para sa kanila dito. But MVA methodically slicing the pie. 1 versus 1 taken between 3 players. Grabe naman, he wins that every single time. Matt. Ayun nga, mechanical greatness nga talaga dito ni Matt, no? One of his most underrated things as a player here in PE. And titignan natin if PE can do that exact same thing. Fire behind him, Salvatore, because of that last round. EVOS, are they gonna douse the fire dito, pare?
Now, huge swing para doon sa Pacific, pre. No doubt about it, pero this is still EVOS that has the capabilities pagdating sa mid-rounding. Nakita si Cetra. Pinaglalaroan lang din tong LA na to. Tila tumahimik na nga ang silid. Pero si Aiden ayaw sumunod sa ordinansa, pre. Bawal ang mag-ingay. And now Aiden now going back into house A. And Revenge peeking out of the smoke. Oh my goodness. Ginulang na kagad si Cetra dito, having a very off second half. Sneaky Frog. At yun na nga tayong hinahanap dito ng Pacific.
Grabe, parang nawalan ng putok yung TRG na dito going into the second half. Not really hitting the mark as much as he did in the first. Pero meron pa namang 4 na players dito. Yung EVOS, PE, full on rush on that A side. KSA looking to disturb that presence dito sa A side with that mid push. Elvin nakakuha na nga ng isa. KSA with the spray on that HK. Elvin will get another one. Pero Justin will get Elvin in return.
Man.
It's a 1 versus 1. Justin versus Yobib. Grabe. These two fighting for the longest time. The original Prodigy versus Prodigy. Justin around the corner, but Yobib will find him. 8-5. EVOS 2 points away from sealing off yung EE natin.
At pinaparamdam na nga ng EVOS na isang mortal sin ang pagpili ng Eagle Eye against EVOS that has continuously innovated and improved this map for over 2 years, pre. Noong unang beses na lumabas to sa radar ng EVOS, hindi na sila nawalan ng oras para pag-ensayuhan to, pre. Justin, nirekta agad ang EB, pero pinatigil din siya ni KSA. Cetra na with the pick. At tila na ibaliktad na nga ng EVOS ang kalamangan ngayon, pre. And now on the 3v2, Revenge and Aiden still fighting. KSA nagpakita ng puyo, pre. And now KSA now going back into RS para ma-challenge na lang tong site na to, pre. Wala nang off-angle. Kung rekta sa mukha, rekta sa mukha. And Pacific now has to work with 2 members alive. Pero tinan mo naman yung 3 nabubuhay pa para sa EVOS, pre. The 3-headed Kraken ng EVOS just couldn't get chopped down. Kahit gaano pa kaasintado, kahit gaano pa nangunguna si Aiden at Revenge.
We need a rewind round, man. We need a rewind round. We already had one para dito kay MVA, but as a clutch galing kay Revenge would send them flying. Pero Revenge, KSA spotted dito sa likod. But Zetra though, look at this distraction. And he does die for it. Pero Revenge, could actually slip on by USP in his hand. And Elvin, if he can actually actively challenge tong si Elvin sa mid, this would be a possibility. Hold on. Wait a minute, pero KSA, actually looking at this, Elvin going the entirely different direction. Pero nakita na dito si Revenge. Nako po, full spray ng HK sa mukha. 9-5, EVOS, 1 more point from taking Pacific's map pick.
At yun pa yung posisyon para sa EVOS na maglaro para sa sarili nila, pre. They're not even playing for retake. Elvin humiwalay dun kay KSA, pre, which is not the optimal play. Pero gumana, no? And NBA now pushing door mid, pero mabilis nang din pinalatan kagad ni Cetra. KSA nakapasok na nga to add more defense dito lang sa may BR. And KSA collects 2. And Revenge, patatahimikan na nga ngayon si Yobib. Isang kapitan na lang ng barko ang harang dito ng EVOS para makuha nila ang Eagle Eye. 1 minute and 52 revenge. Crouch picking KSA. Nakita na nga ni Elvin to. And Elvin sprays down. EVOS Arcilia. Tinatanggalan ng pagkakataon ng Pacific makita ang top 4. And that is a statement of a game, Sneaky.
There it is. Old rivalries renewed. Pero EVOS, seems like the young stars are really looking to seal this one off now and forever, pare. Pacific, obviously, still a dynasty to respect. Pero EVOS, at the same time, wala nga silang... They really just don't discriminate on who they beat dito sa tournament natin, pare. And yun nga, Pacific is definitely one of them that... ayun nga, that was a masterclass. Galing sa kanila dito, especially going into yung second half natin. Ayun nga, granted, medyo nakabalik yung PE on some of these other rounds, but at the same time, the recovery was so quick para dito sa EVOS na hindi man lang naka-enjoy dito yung PE going into the next one. So, EVOS, impressive stuff galing sa kanila dito. They're locked in.
Pero yung pagpulot ng EVOS sa sarili nila, heading into mid-round, or even to a dire spot na kailangan nga nilang itaguyod yung 2v2, yung mga 3v1s, that is the strong asset na meron dito ang EVOS Arcilia, no? Comparing it to Pacific, they're just putting in the stops, whether it would be from clutches, yung picks, nandun na yun eh. Parang napaka-fixated na ng Pacific na umasa sa mga picks na meron sila and then try to execute a site na alam mo talagang tinataguyod pa rin ng EVOS, no? So it's a tough angle. Na mawawala nga si Yobi pero nandyan si Cetra, mawawala si Cetra but there's still Elvin na naglalurk, no? So you can never be too sure kung ikaw ang Pacific na makakakuha ka ng dalawa pero nasa iyo na ang round na yun. Only EVOS can do what EVOS does best, is to return the favor, pre. Kung ano yung kinuha mo nung una, yun din ang ibabalik namin sa inyo.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the classic EVOS. So nakita natin, I think they also usually do this pagdating sa mapa ng Ankara na where they just really hit A site as much as possible and then by the time na tail end na tayo na first half, that B site's wide open, pare.
Man, the cracks in the foundation nakikita na nga natin at open kill contract na ang EVOS para sa kung sino-sino dyan. Eagle Eye tapos na as we head into the next map. Ano ang masasabi ng ating panel? Mochi and Daydom, what are your insights?
Insights, man, all I could say is this seems like another lesson, no, para kay Pacific Esports to not choose Eagle Eye against the EVOS themselves, no. Para sila kasi nagpasimuno ng mga primary na mga galawan dito sa mapang ito na kinukuhanan na ng inspirasyon ng ibang mga kampo natin dito and sa CF local scene and also harsh reality for Pacific that in terms of being online, dapat lahat, hindi lang ilan.
Exactly, no? And I feel like EVOS still are in firm control of this map. Now, granted, there are times we've seen them falter a little bit dito sa Eagle Eye up against teams like Stallions, no? But Pacific attempted that today with no dice, no luck dito. EVOS just felt like they were in complete control of the entire set. Even in rounds na nakakakuha ng rounds dito ang Pacific, no? The adjustment is just so quick from EVOS. Talagang kitang-kita mo ang dami nilang prepare for this map. And as Salvi and Sneaky were constantly bringing up, no? It's because of years of practicing and honing this particular map up against not just Philippine teams, no? International experience din. Madami din silang international experience that come into play dito sa mapang ito. And Pacific, unfortunately, are reminded harshly of that today. Napakatindi ng adjustment dito ng EVOS through each and every round. And of course, you can never count out the riflers and the firepower of EVOS. Whenever there is a moment where they need that to come in, it will. Itong moment ni KSA dito at the end of the game, paulit-ulit na siyang power position dito sa RS just because pinupuntirya yun ng Pacific, and that's the adjustment I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And the crazy thing here is pagka nakita ni EVOS na, uy, okay, medyo natalo tayo, naputol yung 5-round streak natin nung umpisa, ang bilis nila mag-adapt, nakapag-adjust sila kaagad-agad. And here is the current set summary na meron tayo ngayon. No, tignan mo naman, Dos kay Cetra and the rest nakatungtong ng 1. On the other hand though, for Pacific Esports, it seems like everyone's disoriented. It feels like everyone's grasping for air here in order to keep themselves in check. But at the same time, feels like despite MVA having a, a bad day, currently dahil may sakit daw siya. Tignan mo naman, 1.23 pa rin ang kanyang KD and he's been able to perform so well. But unfortunately, some of the others haven't been able to follow up.
Absolutely. It's still EVOS, of course, that come out on top. Sabi mga everyone with a KD of more than or equal to 1, but it is Zetra that still is the standard bearer of a 1.2 kill per round. Talagang ibang level ka, Zetra. Among the best, you are still the best. At syempre, sino pa ba magiging set MVP natin? No other than the sniper of EVOS, Arcelia. Granted, no, 0 yung headshot per kill niya, but you don't need headshots when you're a sniper player. You need kills per round. At yun na nga, 1.2 kills per round for Zetra and a 2.0 kill to death ratio. What more do you need from him?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yan lang din yung gawain niya dito, no? Makapitas at makapagbigay ng impormasyon sa kanyang mga kasama. Ika nga niya nung ating siya in-interview na nakaraan. And he's been able to do that well. I feel like well is an understatement. I feel like phenomenal yung pag-carry out niya ng kanyang trabaho dito, doing the dirty work. Unang first contact, especially when it comes to these types of situations, he's been able to perform up to his fullest. And oftentimes, no, despite online lahat ng kanyang mga kasama, minsan kaya niya mag-isa no? Ganun katindi ang isang Zetra dito sa ating mapa ng Eagle Eye. And I am really curious now what's gonna happen here once we head into our second. Is there gonna be any changes? Is there gonna be any adjustments? Because if that would be the case, it feels like that's gonna be quite of a amount of work na kailangang i-address dito ng Pacific. Lalong-lalo na when it comes to their mental fortitude.
Absolutely, no? It's gonna be hard to come back from, especially after picking up that map. But, malalaman natin yan sa pagbabalik ng CFS Regional Finals. When we return, it's going to be Ankara in the battle of EVOS and Pacific. Kami nga pala ang paano nyo, Datum and Mochi. We'll be right back after this.